Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm from JennyCardDesigns. Thanks so much for stopping by to spend some time with me here today. My YouTube channel contains content that is intended to share paper crafting, tutorials, and inspiration with all of you. I hope that you enjoy. I have a super fun video today that's sharing something totally different than my normal sort of YouTube. I've been really focusing on using stuff that's in my stash, and today I've got a top secret tip on using 12 by 12 pattern paper packs. I don't know about any of you, but I have a serious problem. Every time I go into Michael's, even the dollar store sometimes carries them, I find these beautiful 12 by 12 packs of paper and I just keep buying them. I don't even know how many I have. I probably have like over 100 of these, and it's a serious problem. And sometimes I pull out a paper here and there, but I don't really use them as often as I'd like because they're, stacked away on my shelf in this paper rack, and I don't really even kind of look at them. So today I'm going to show you a way to reinvent them and actually use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. This is a rainbow pack, and it's just solid colors. It's just got some texture on it. So it's really nice, heavy cardstock, but the colors are absolutely beautiful. This is why I bought it. Very sherbety, summery, spring sort of feel. So what I'm going to do is chop these up. I'm going to work in groups of the colors. So I'm going to work with all of these pinks, and I'm going to take the 12-inch piece and cut it in half at 6 inches, and then take both pieces and cut that again in 6 inches. So what I get is a 6 by 6 piece of paper, and I get a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to run through this entire book. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put it in my trimmer. I'm going to trim at 6 inches. And then take that piece, spin it around, and cut it again at 6 inches. So this is nothing complicated here. This is just takes a little bit of time. So if you have no mojo or no inspiration or anything, and you just want to make some stuff in your craft room, try this. As I started cutting up these papers, I thought, I have so many different ideas of what to do with this. So I went and I cut the pink, the peach, the light pink, the orange, the light green, the dark green, the teal, and the blue. Beautiful, beautiful combination of papers. And now they're all cut up into this gigantic stack. So now I have this enormous pile of rainbows, and I really don't know what to do with it yet. I mean, I do have some ideas, but at the point that I was at, I didn't know what to do. So I started sort of separating it. I thought, well, this is too much for anyone. It's a lot of paper. So I thought, let's create little 6 by 6 paper packs. So I just started splitting them up into groups of 4. And I went through all the papers and created 4 stacks of 6 by 6 paper. And so everyone got an equal amount of paper, all the same, split up into 4. And this is what I got. And now I also have these clear packaging. You could use anything here. You could use Ziploc bags, whatever you've got. I just happen to have my own business where I use these packaging. So I thought, well, I'll just slip these into the packaging, and then I'll put them with all of my other 6 by 6 paper packs, and I'll have lots to choose from. So, I mean, this is such a great idea to extend the life of your paper packs and give you some reason or give you a purpose to use those 12 by 12 paper packs. Because as a card maker, I don't necessarily need 12 by 12 cardstock, but I love the patterns and designs in those big scrapbook pages. I cut up the front page of that 12 by 12 book, and I created sort of like a swatch. So it shows me all the colors. There are 8 different colors in this paper pack in each little package. So now that this is all done, I've got 4 packages of 6 by 6 paper pack. Super cool. It's like I just went shopping in my own craft room. It makes me feel so good. It makes me feel like, I'm buying stuff all over again without spending any money. So that feels really good. All right, so I'm going to move into the second way to cut up your paper packs. Now, the first way was easier because they're solid colors. The second way, I'm going to use this pattern paper. This one is very geometric and it's got some florals in it and stuff, so the orientation isn't too much to worry about, but we will focus on that as we cut through this package. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull out each sheet one by one. I'll just go through the entire book, pulling out one sheet at a time because I don't want to rip anything or put any stress on the pages. So for now, I'm just ripping apart the book page by page. And then we're going to sort of sort through the different types of designs in this book. So there are typically 3 different types of patterns in these books. Normally you're going to come across a full pattern paper, a full-size sort of scrapbook page with writing on it that's intended to be used as a 12 by 12 piece, and then you'll come across cut-aparts. So I'm just going to quickly sort through the package, getting all of the patterns, and I'll set aside any of the cut-aparts or the 12 by 12 sheets that are intended to be used as a whole. So what I want to do, because I'm a card maker and not a scrapbooker, I won't use those big 12 by 12 pages. So what I'll do at some point is cut those apart. But for now, I'm just going to set them off to the side and I'm going to focus on just the patterns for these cardstocks. So what I want to do is I want to create a bunch of basically like card fronts for my cards. So I'm going to take the patterns, and I'm not worrying about orientation or anything like that. We'll come across that in a minute. So I'm going to load my 12 by 12 piece of cardstock in my trimmer, and I'm going to make my first cut at 8 inches. And then I'm going to slide the paper over and make my next cut at 4 inches. This will give me 3 strips of paper that is 4 by 12. Across the 12-inch side, I'm going to cut it down to 6. So then I end up with these panels that are 4 by 6 inches. Now these are great for 5 by 7 cards. You can also use them for your A2 cards. They would just require a little bit of trimming to put them on your card front, but that little bit of extra pattern paper that's left can go on the inside of your card to sort of make the inside coordinate with the front of your card. I'm going to run through this entire book, and I'm not going to stress too much about the orientation, but what I plan on doing is flipping them around. In this specific pack, there are a few designs that are identical but in different colors. So what I'll do is I'll trim up some in a portrait, and then I'll spin the patterns around and trim up some of them in a landscape. I'm really not worrying too much about it, but for this triangle pattern, for example, I'm cutting this one as a landscape. So I'll do the exact same cut, nothing different here. The first cut at 8 inches, second cut at 4 inches, spin the cardstock around and cut at 6 inches, giving me 4 by 6 panels. And then I'll just keep moving along, and I end up with this massive stack of 4 by 6 panels. It's super fun to create. As I was chopping these up, I really thought this is super easy to create cards. Not only this particular pack is quite masculine with the geometric shapes, and a lot of those I could see as like shirts that my son would wear. He's a very like a plaid style dress shirt wearing kind of dude, and I could see him wearing each and every one of these patterns on a shirt. So I really felt like it was quite masculine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through all these patterns, and I'm going to create 6 stacks. I'm splitting up these card fronts evenly so that all the packages have the same cardstock in them. So I'm going to have 6 identical packs of all these wonderful geometric, fun sort of jungle vibe feel. And then I really liked that hibiscus pattern paper, so I put that on the front because I thought it was pretty and it would look nice in the packaging. So I'm going to use some clear packaging. These are how I store my handmade cards. So this fit perfectly. And then now I've got 6 packs of card fronts for my card making. And then I've got, again, these 6 by 6 rainbow packs that we made. So super duper fun. I really thought, like, I've got so many new fresh ideas. And I was blank before I started cutting up this pattern paper. So I really enjoyed that process, and I have tons of these pattern papers that I really think that I could put to good use. Not only this, I'm going to share these with you guys. I'm going to give most of them away. Continue watching this video and you'll see how to enter in to win a pack of these beautiful pattern papers. So I'm going to make you a couple card samples to show you how simple and quick these pattern papers can be to make cards. Okay, we're going to start with the super simple one. I've got two card bases that are 5x7. These are pre-cut and scored, ready to go. I keep those in my drawer on hand so that I have them whenever I need them. So I'm going to open up this pack and I'm just going to sift through them and decide which one I want to use for this card. I need a birthday card for my sister, so that's what I decided to make. I thought this was really pretty, and since I loved that hibiscus so much and that pattern, I thought this was a perfect card. So I grabbed from my stash a coordinating color green cardstock. I thought it just helped the hibiscus to sort of stand up out of that background. So I'm going to cut this panel down to do a matte layer. I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and that gives us a nice border all the way around this cardstock, and it looks lovely, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to take my dot runner and glue everything together and get that mounted onto the front of my card. Now, I wasn't sure if this was upside down or not, but I left it. I was happy with it. So I wanted something fairly simple for the happy birthday on the front of this card, and I grabbed this older stamp set from JennyCardDesigns, and it's called Happy Birthday to You. And I thought that this simple happy birthday sentiment will just allow the background to sort of be the main focus of this card. So I'm going to use some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm going to stamp this twice. I need 2 birthday cards, so I'm going to make one out of the pattern paper and one out of that rainbow cardstock, and that's going to be coming up next. So I just thought I'd stamp them both at the same time to save myself from pulling it back out later on. So I'm going to use my trimmer, and I will trim up this sentiment and just get this little tiny square. I used my trimmer guide to help me sort of line up the letters to the plastic edge of that trimmer guide to get a nice square. And then I'm going to adhere this to the piece of green cardstock that was left over from trimming down my panel. And I'll create a nice little border around my sentiment just to coordinate everything together nicely. And I think this turns out really pretty. So I'll just chop down those edges and just sort of eyeballing. I'm not measuring anything here. This is just an eyeball measurement, what I think looks good. And then I adhere everything together and pop that right on the front of this card. And I'm happy with that placement. I like it off to the right sort of a little bit. And I think that looks nice. And that is it for this card. It's super simple, super easy, very nice, elegant looking card, and not too much work went into this. So this is a wonderful way to use up those card fronts that we've cut up. All right, let's move along to card number 2. I'm going to use that rainbow pack for this one. So I'm going to pull out 5 colors of this beautiful cardstock, and then I'll put everything back. And then I'm going to pull in my trimmer, and I'm going to cut off 1 inch off each of these panels. So all 5 colors, I will take 1 inch from each of these, and then I'll save those large pieces of cardstock for another card project. So I just need the 1 inch strips. So I'm going to lay those out on my work surface. This is the Hero Arts Alphabet Stamps and Die set, and I'm just going to be using the dies. I'm going to spell out the word happy. And I'm going to use my grid mat to help me get this lined up properly. I just want to line it up in the top of those 1 inch pieces. So I'm just pulling out the letters. I'll have to cut the P twice, but that's okay. So I'm going to use some painter's tape, and I'll just tape down my letters to the top of this cardstock. And then I'm going to run everything through my die cut machine. And then we get this fun, colorful happy spelled out. And I'm just going to line them all up, and I'm going to use some regular Scotch tape to tape all of these together. I want this rainbow pattern to be my card front. So once I get all of these 5 strips taped together, I decided to mat this on some black cardstock. I think it just really helps those rainbows to pop off. I saved the little die cut centers on the A and the 2 P's, and I just glued those down with some liquid adhesive, and I used my jewel picker to help me put those in place. And then I have these few little pieces left over from when I trimmed off my strips, and I was trying to make some like candles with it, but I thought I'm just going to make a geometric pattern sort of off to the side, something a little bit different, not like your normal sort of card. So I added some adhesive to the back of this panel, and I took a little stack of those rainbow pieces and glued them all together, offset from each other, so none of them are lined up all the same. They're all sort of different. And then I lined up my happy panel on the front of my card, and then just sort of moved this pattern around where I wanted it. And then I'm happy with that, and I just press everything into place, and it looks great. I'm super happy with it. And I'm going to take that sentiment that I stamped from the first card, and I'm just going to cut off the word happy. I'm just going to use a ruler and a craft knife and just cut off that happy and trim out the rest of the panel. So it says birthday to you. So we have our happy die cut in our rainbow cardstock, and then birthday to you. And I'm going to mat this on some black cardstock as well. And since I already have my craft knife and my ruler out, I'm just going to keep going with that. And then I glue this little sentiment down in the bottom right hand corner, offset from that panel. So I think that looked really cool. I needed a little bit of extra adhesive there to hold everything down. And then I'm going to go back to the rest of those letters. These are the die cut letters that we cut out of those 1-inch panels. And I thought I was going to create another card with them. And I lined them all up onto a piece of black cardstock and spelled out the word happy. And then I wanted to put that on my card front. So I added some adhesive and placed that down on the front. And I love the way this turned out. This rainbow pack has been sitting in my craft room for a year. I have never touched it. I haven't used a single piece of it until today, after I chopped it up and made this amazing card. Here is a close-up look at my fun rainbow card. And then here are both of the cards that I made here today with my Chop It Up series. I am giving away 3 packs of the rainbow cardstock and 4 packs of the jungle themed cardstock. And so that's 7 packages in total. All you have to do to be entered in to win this giveaway is number 1, be subscribed to my channel. Number 2, like this video. And number 3, leave a comment in the description down below. Just tell me about your favorite crafty projects that you like to make. Or just say hi. Or just say, I want to win. So I'm going to give away 7 packages of cardstock. This giveaway will be open to US and Canadian residents. Unfortunately, I'm not equipped to ship overseas. So again, this giveaway is only open to US and Canadian residents. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you're enjoying this series that I've been creating lately using stuff that I have in my craft room. I buy stuff all the time and sometimes I don't use it, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. So the whole idea behind this video series is to use what you have. Shop in your own craft room. Take a look at some of the stamps that you haven't used before and pull them out and use them, or some of the cardstock you haven't used before. I hope that this inspires you to take another look around your craft room. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate all of the support. Coming up on screen are a few videos I think you may enjoy. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!